Okay, we are live. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. And hello to the wonderful Janis Kiser Enterprises unit and the Jill Kimple Jillionaires unit. And I want to introduce all of you to my amazing Mary Kay girlfriend, whom I have known for 32 years. This beautiful lady has inspired and believed in me from the day I signed my Mary Kay agreement in 1990. Thank you, Janis, for always being in my amen corner. Your love and support mean the entire world to me. The memories we have shared are priceless, and I look forward to many, many more to come. Janis, in 1990, you forever changed my life for the better, and I can't imagine how my life would have been without you in it. I love, love, love you very, very much. Now, here are the incredible Mary Kay accolades for my beautiful girlfriend, Janis Kiser. Janis joined Mary Kay in 1973. She has earned 21 free cars, which 8 of them were Cadillacs. And for 8 years, she took the cash compensation that the company offers us if we decide we want the money instead of the car. And her unit has been in the circle of achievement 20 times. And two of those times were in the $500,000 circle. But what we figured out is if in today's world, that was back in 1983, 82. And in today's world, that would be 1.4 million. So 1.4 million 2 times. You guys, that's a lot of lipstick being sold in 1 year. That is incredible. That's fabulous. And her highest commission in 1 month has been right at about $14,851. That is big girl size pay, girlfriend. That's awesome. And that's in 1 month. Okay, I got to reiterate that because a lot of people don't understand. That's in 1 month. Some people just make that in an entire year. So that is impressive. In 1988, she earned a top director trip to Switzerland where her and her husband, Kim, also got to travel to France and Italy. Our beloved Mary Kay Ash herself was on this trip with them. And what a trip of a lifetime to be able to spend it with our founder. That is so incredible. And I've seen the pictures, so I know you have the picture to prove it. And it's no surprise, too, that with all of those awards, that Janis was awarded the most honored of all awards when she was named the company's monthly Miss Go Give in September of 1989. Janis, you are one of the most Go Give, wonderful, wonderful women in my life, and you have inspired me beyond words. I can't even tell you how you've changed my life for the better. And we are super excited to celebrate you, the lady, the life, and the legacy. And we can't wait for you to just share all your wisdom with us. So what would you like to share?
Well, first of all, thank you. And I've got to tell you, when Jill was telling me about this, she said, well, Janis, you have a legacy. And I think, I have a legacy. I never thought, nobody ever said that before. I have a legacy. Can you put up the picture now, Jill?
Yes, I can.
Of our direct line to Mary Kay.
Yes.
This is one of them. Look at this. Danielle, thank you. I love this. This is our direct line. When I started in 1973, the company was 10 years old, and Daylene White, who was the very first consultant, you all know that, she was our national, and then Isla spun off, and Daylene had directly recruited Isla. Isla had directly recruited Judy, and Judy recruited me through one of my high school girlfriends, and then I recruited Jill through one of our mutual friends. So I'm 3 people away from Mary Kay, and Jill is 4. Now, it doesn't get much better than that by today's standards, does it?
That is so true. And, you know, a lot of people in Mary Kay don't have the privilege of being able to say that they are just literally 5 steps away from our founder. So that's really impressive.
It is, because so many are new. I mean, I've heard many nationals today read what they've said or heard them in speeches. Well, I never got to meet Mary Kay, but, well, and Jill, you got to meet Mary Kay. She was still alive. Hey, you got some good leadership here, guys. We can tell you lots of stories. Get us in a corner. We'll tell you lots of stories. I will tell you, 47 years. I've been a consultant and director 45, but 47 years. And they have been and still are life changing. I promise you, this has influenced my life. I want to give a big round of thanks to about 8 people, and I call them my 8 wonders of the world, because these guys have been, oh my gosh, we have had times in our history in Mary Kay close. I mean, we'd almost have to stay up sleeping together because of working hard together. And these are some of our former directors, and I am so proud. We still have 7 directors in our unit: Shirley Bynum, Jan Fasano, Marty Castell, Melinda Finley, Melanie Levy, Marianne Pignon, Linda Anderson, and Jill. And they mean the world to me, and you all do. You just don't know how hard this is to know that we're not still the Kiser unit, but yet I'm happy. And I'm so happy for Jill, and I'm happy we're all Jill's now. Should we tell them about our gopher?
Oh, you mean the twofer?
Twofer. I told her.
Oh yes, I will tell him that. I told Janis the other day. I said I said, well, you're my Mary Kay mama, but you're really my Mary Kay sister. So you're really a twofer. So I said, you're a 2-for-1. I said, I get both my Mary Kay mama and my sister. And now she's going to be in my unit as a consultant. I'm so excited. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. And I'm so honored. And I feel extremely it's such a privilege to have the opportunity to work together and bring both of our powerhouse units together. I'm so excited.
And powerhouse we are, trust me. Okay, Jill, back to you.
Yes, awesome. Well, we just really want to hear, Janis, can you share some things from your 45 years of experience in Mary Kay? Share some highlights of things, like just some real good nuggets that you have learned throughout your 45-year Mary Kay career.
I jotted down a few. We talked about this in advance. The first thing that came to mind, and Jan Fasano and I were talking about this, I think either yesterday or the day before last, how much this has helped her in another career as a superintendent of schools, being tolerant of people. And I was not born tolerant, trust me. I'm a dominant person, try not to be controlling, but that's not my personality type that I was born with. But thank you, Mary Kay. She teaches us tolerance, how to be tolerant. And that's huge. And it's even biblical. I think in the Bible, it's put love one another, and that's tolerance. Making people feel special. This probably belongs at number 1, because I think when I first learned how to do a skincare class, no, we used to call them beauty shows way back when. And when I first learned how to do it, we would role play in training sessions, and we'd get down below eye level while somebody's sitting in a chair, and we were taught to look them in the right eye, like I'm looking in Jill's right eye right now, and don't move. And I called it a few minutes ago, if I can find it here, look them in the right eye and don't lose the gaze. And I looked up gaze, which is a steady, intent look. And that to me is everything. And it just kind of unnerves me a little bit when I'm talking to people, and I know it does you guys also. And they're listening. I know they're listening, but they're looking here and they're looking at their spouse, or, they're looking at their phone or their watch, even though they're listening. And thank you, Mary Kay, for teaching us how to look each other in the right eye and hold the gaze. And those are my words.
And I will say, Janis, with looking people in the right eye, and you taught me that, I have to say that is the one thing. I mean, you are Mary Kay to me. You just ooze Mary Kay. But that is one thing that when you talk to people, you're such a great listener. And I learned that from you. People don't really care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And when we listen, then that they know we care. Absolutely. And Mary Kay had that unique way, just like you do too, to make the person you're talking to feel like they're the only person in the room and there could be 100 people there. That's a huge gift, and you have that. So,
and that came from Mary Kay. That totally came from Mary. She always said, visualize every person you're talking to as having a sign around her neck or his neck saying, make me feel special. And that came because I wouldn't have done that. I wasn't smart enough on my own to do that. Be a good Christian is another thing that I've learned from Mary Kay. She, to me, I'll talk about that later, but she is and was and is the epitome of God-fearing Christian. She loved Jesus. She loved people. She was, to me, a saint. Saint Mary Kay. And I know she was not Catholic, but you don't have to be Catholic to be a saint. She, to me, is a saint in heaven. I swear I feel that way.
And I will say that attracted me to the business from the very get-go, is being able to, that a company of this magnitude, and the founder stood her ground and said she wanted women to be able to put God first, family second, and career third. And I will tell you, that spoke volumes to me 32 years ago. That was probably one of the biggest reasons I even signed up.
Isn't that amazing? And even my son, he just wrote, I just saw on his Facebook, my 20-year-old, who's a little bit of a rebel, and he said, faith, he was listing about him, faith, family, and I think he said job or something was third, but he listed that. I didn't even know he'd ever, heard me say that. With your family, you're the mama. And I learned that from Ruby Lee. She was my favorite national, except for, with the exception of our own two, for years. And I had kind of a situation, and I was just being me the way I would be, and wondering if this is the way. She said, you're the mama, and you need to act like the mama. She didn't say it, act like the mama, and I do that with my children, because it's, sometimes it's hard with daughters, especially if you've got daughters, and you're the mama and you have to act like the mama. And I learned that in Mary Kay, and that has helped me. You would not believe how much in my family life. Public speaking. Oh my gosh. You all know, I'm sure that, public speaking is man's biggest fear, man and women's biggest fear. It really is. I even learned that in a class recently. But I think my biggest, one of my most wonderful days at seminar was when I called down earlier, when I had like two babies. One I was nursing, brand new. We were at the peak of our career, of our Mary Kay, and I had two teenagers. And I called the company and said, I think somebody needs to teach a class at seminar called talking about children, balancing career with children. And she said, I think you're right, and you can teach it. And we were at a huge auditorium at seminar, and there were about 1,200 people there. And I was not a bit nervous. I knew what I was talking about. I had it all written out. It was, who would have believed, if you'd known me in high school and growing up shy, I know nobody believes that now, but that's huge. As public speaking, good time management. And I have to still work on that, but I mean, thank goodness for Mary Kay, because before I was always 15 minutes late, and I've healed that wound. Don't be afraid to do something, feel the fear. And I think as women, sometimes that's harder for us. And Judy especially, and Isla taught me that years ago. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's huge, because men can do it. They can. And we have to learn how to do it. Goals, one other last thing on this. When you reach a goal and set them high, and that's what I've always done, and it works, because I was willing to work to pay the price to get there. But then Mary Kay's taught us to immediately reset a goal. And if you don't, you're out the window. So reset those goals, Jill.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, one other thing that I do want to ask you, Janis, I'm just curious, what comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the words Mary Kay? Is there something that just instantly just pops into your mind?
Quite a few, but believe it or not, the first word, you won't believe this, it's bonding. We are so bonded to the company. I really thought the first thing I thought of was how bonded we are to each other. We are so bonded forever, forever. We're bonded to the company, to the product. We're bonded to our families, of course, but this is a bonding experience. Um, my unit, oh my gosh, you guys, you're not rid of me. I want you to know that you're not rid of me. You'll probably see me more now than before. We've had a heck of a ride. We have had a heck of a ride, and you do not know, you'll never know how in awe I am of all of you and how proud. And some of us go so far back, 40 years. Loyalty, you talk about loyal. Oh my gosh, 40. I should have looked up. Marianne possibly has been at Marianne and Shirley and Melinda. I think Melinda started in 80. I think Marianne, and she started in December, and she just zoomed to the top and made Mary Kay her career. The opportunity, girlfriends, income. You know, when people ask other Mary Kay people, why did you come into this company? And a lot of times it's, well, I wanted to help people. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I came in to make money, and I don't pull any punches about that. I'm proud because I'm still in it. I love the money. And as Daleen White used to say, we would do Mary Kay even if we didn't get paid, almost. But it's going to be hard giving up the money that I've been making as a director. But that's what I'm going to do, and we're good. We've saved, we're good. But that's the most, to me, one of the most amazing things about this job, the money we can make. And I never thought I'd make very much money. I came in to make enough money so that this was when I was 26, had two little children, and I came in so that I could make enough for our Friday night, maybe eating out at McDonald's and going to a movie. And that was my only goals at the time. Jill, what were you going to say?
Well, and I was going to say, and the one thing I remember, of course, you know, Judy, our national, she could have been a stand-up comedian, and we've always said that. But I always remember her saying, you know, money's not everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. And if you want to breathe well, you need it, because you just have to have it, because you have to have it to live. And you're right. You know, also that's one of the big reasons I came in as well. So you and I have that in common. And we were single moms for a while. And when you, it all relies on you, and you have to put food on that table, you know, money ranks right up there. You've got to have it.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does. Yes. Another thing that's huge, forever friendships. Judy and I met at my first night of finding out about Mary Kay, 1973, and we are still better friends than ever. She had a stroke a few years ago, and she is paralyzed on her right side, and she's now home living with her daughter and son-in-law, but she's happy again, and she still has her sense of humor. And I visit her probably almost as much or maybe more than almost anybody, except maybe immediate family, because I love her, and I love her because of Mary Kay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, our best girlfriends are in Mary Kay right here. This is it. We are best girlfriends for sure. Well, what are you most proud of from your Mary Kay career? What are you most proud of?
That's so hard, but I think probably if something had been taken away from me, I could have not lived without that. If that top director's trip had been taken away from me, maybe, because that was the ultimate. And the stories I've got to tell and pictures from that. So I'm very proud of the 16 years that we were in a pink Cadillac, because my mother, one time, I did not come from a high achieving family, although all of us my age or younger are high achievers. But our parents this age were farm people a lot of times, and they'd been in the Great Depression and World War II. And it was a different time. And so one time when I was on target to earn another Cadillac, and I was telling Mother, and she said, I'll put it this way, I did not get my motivation to achieve from my mother, because she said, oh, you don't need to drive a Cadillac, do you? And bless her heart. She would never have probably known how to drive one. You know, she couldn't even fill her car when, you know. So anyway, I'm digressing here, aren't I?
Oh, you're doing great.
Oh, 40. I want to tell you something. Some of you know this, but this is huge. In the 43 years altogether of driving career cars, the 16 years Cadillac, and then we had the mid-size car, and then we even had a few of the consultant cars and cash compensation. I figured up by today's standards, no, actually it's what I made at the time. Like for years, the Cadillac, we would get, it was worth 900 if you took cash compensation, which I never did. And in all those years, it has saved me and my family over $420,000 cash in hand that I didn't have to spend on car payments. And I got a new one every other year for 43 years, maybe 42 years. My white mink coat, we stopped wearing them when people started throwing paint. They never did at Mary Kay, but they picketed one time. But I love that. That was the most beautiful. That was when we did 500,000 the first time. The second time was this. What's the wrong way?
Yeah.
This, I think, well, gosh darn it. I think this is a 6-carat total weight diamond ring. That was our second. This was the very first thing I ever won in Mary Kay, and I could wear rings on every finger. And this is what even jewelry people and jewelry stores will mention, because this is my, where is that? This was my very first prize, and I get more compliments on it. Coincidentally, and I'm going to talk faster here, I didn't wear my mink coat, and it did. It kind of went out of style, even though it was beautiful. And so because of the paint throwing and all that, people growling about fur, hope I'm not stepping on any toes, but I decided a long time ago that I would make someone I heard somewhere make teddy bears, traditional keepsake teddy bears. So I had enough to have these 5 mink teddy bears, and this is a God wink. I did this before Christian was born. When I did that, we only had 4 kids. Now that's a God wink, because the minute we got him, I knew that was meant to be when I made 5 teddy bears. Isn't that amazing? You didn't know that, did you, Jill?
No, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, as many times as we've stayed up all night long at the retreats at your Lake of the Ozarks home, when we'd have our unit retreats, and we would go there, and I thought we'd pretty well covered everything. We'd stay up all night long talking.
And if we did it again, we'd do the same thing.
We would do the same thing. Yes,
I've still got a few stories people haven't heard. That's what my family always says. Oh, we've heard it all. And every now and then I'll come up with a new one. Knowing Mary Kay personally is a huge accomplishment. Oh, Jill was saying that at one of our Mary Kay retreats at the Ozarks, at the lake house, I had taken a bunch of Mary Kay's personal letters, and evidently I read them. I couldn't find the one I wanted to read a little bit to you today, but it was the one that when my stepfather died, my mother was a beauty consultant for 18 years. She was my number 10 when I was becoming a director, and she was in for 18 years. I thought she'd just come in, go right back out. She loved it. And when my stepfather died and mother was a consultant, she got a full-page handwritten letter from mother in 1985, because it was when TJ was born, 6 weeks before he was born. And it was incredible. This was just really fast here. This was to my husband, 1977. Am I showing that? It's in my way. Can you see 1977, anybody? You can't see that.
Up, raise it up.
Oh, there's where
there it is.
Hard.
Oh, yep.
Okay. Signed by Mary Kay. She said, thank you. She said, I'll just read this one, but I've got 3 others that are personal just to me. This was to my husband. She said, May the 12th, 1977. Just a little note to say a most heartfelt thank you for being such an expert driver. It was a pleasure to get to know you better. Evidently, he drove her from, I think it was in Wichita to someplace else. And I didn't even get to go. I was in another car. I know that you are as proud of your beautiful wife as I am, and we appreciate your support of her more than I can ever tell you. In big letters, you are wonderful. Cordially, Mary Kay, Chairman of the Board. Thank you. And I've got.
And do you know that she wrote that letter? That's her birthday. May 12th.
Oh, Where are we here? I can't
May
hear.
12th, 1977. May 12th is Mary Kay Ash's birthday.
Yes, it is. And I'd only been in the company, 7 minus 3, 4 years. So I was still, I was a
Wow.
brand new director, actually. That's why my husband got to
Aw.
drive her. I've probably got some other things, but I'm gonna, well, just one more thing on accomplishments that I'm so proud of. My husband, who has been the most wonderful Mary Kay husband, he's one of those, thank goodness he pushed me out the door. He's a high achiever, and he pushes me out the door. And then Dave, Jill and I were talking about Dave, and I'm not bringing him up just to get favor with Jill, but honest to goodness, that guy, the minute he heard the Mary Kay marketing plan, he almost wanted to sign up, and he loves Mary Kay. He literally loves Mary Kay, the person and everything. So I have to throw husbands in there.
Yes. Awesome. That's awesome. Well, oh my goodness, Janis, I know there are so many stories, and I'm going to have you back time and time again to talk to and breathe belief into all of us. But I just want to say to your unit that I want you to know that I am excited. I am beyond just heartfelt. This is to even have the opportunity. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional because to even have the opportunity to be your fearless leader, to help encourage you and to believe in you and to love you. And Janis, my mama, I want you to be proud of me. That's what I want you to be. Is just be proud of me. And I'm going to make sure that I do it right. So, I mean, I'm just going to always love on them.
And let me say in closing, all these things, Jill, if you hadn't done
I
know.
we told we weren't going to do this, but that's okay. It's
okay. All these things that I am so proud of, it's because of that Kiser unit. It's the unit. I couldn't have done it without you. I mean, you all did it. I was just at the helm. And the friendships, I love you so much. In my family, we always say when we get off phones, I love you. We do it in my unit. These people that I've known for 100 years and loved, and I know so many of my sister consultants now, because I know so many of you, and I've worked with you, and Danielle has been wonderful and worked for me for a long time. And I just cannot tell you how happy I am, how sad I am in some ways, but yet you're not through with me yet. You haven't seen the last of me yet, and I still love you all. And I adore our fearless leader, Jill. I adore her. Always have, always will.
I love you. And I'm just super honored. I'm going to put this picture up here. I went to her office. I got to go to Janis's office this past Tuesday, and we visited, and she told me just a little bit about, we went through every single person that's in the Kiser's Enterprises unit, and we went through all of them, and we laughed, and we ate dessert, and we laughed, and we ate dessert, and we laughed some more, and we just had such a great time. I mean, ladies, literally, I was there, just so you know, from 1:30 until 6 o'clock at night. But we had so much fun. But ladies, I am so excited because I just love how you keep the notes, and you knew exactly it was so wonderful because of the stories and everything that you told me, and I feel so connected, and I love that part. But I went ahead and I took a picture of Janis, and I came home and I made this little photo of her standing on her beautiful wall that has all of your Circle of Achievement plaques, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I have to show everybody this. So, and Janis, you can peek around it if you want to, but
yeah, I
just made this my beautiful Mary Kay mama, celebrating 45 years of breathing belief in so many lives. And you have done that, Janis, so wonderfully, so gracefully. You are so amazing. And I'm going to sum this up real quickly with the poem, Mary Kay's favorite poem, which I know you and I both have toured corporate, and we've seen this on her wall in her office. And
before you read that, Jill, I'm just going to say one sentence. Now I have officially passed the torch. And I love you so much.
Oh, and I love you too. I love you so much. And you are my Mary Kay mama. So just so you know, even though you're in my unit and you're my consultant, I promise I won't boss you around.
Look at how many people are laughing right now. You're great.
Oh, funny. Okay, now on a serious note, we're going to do this poem because I love this poem. And I just feel like it just really sums up bringing both of our units together. I mean, this is just I just think it's perfect. And it says, Mary Kay, and she loved this poem. I have a premonition that soars on silver wings. It is a dream of your accomplishments, of many wondrous things. I do not know beneath which sky or where you'll challenge fate. I only know it will be high. I only know it will be great. And you are great, Janis, and I love, love, love you to pieces. And now you've got to invite me over so we can have more dessert and we can visit some more and laugh and cry and do all that stuff.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, I'll be there.
Love everybody.
Love you.
Love you.